Robert D'Amico, a former unit chief in the FBI's counter-drone unit. Appropriate for this. Robert, good to see you. Thank you for coming on. So the federal government going back and forth on this one here, what these drone sightings actually are. We've heard so far, the president says that there is no threat and that these could be hobbyist drones, commercial drones. We did hear at one point, could it possibly be those with malign intent? It's possible, but that's as far as we've gotten so far with the government. What is your assessment?
My assessment is the same, that in the beginning, I think it was more misidentification. I think there's still a ton of misidentification. I've looked at so many videos and I'm like, that's a plane. That's a manned plane. When I first took over some of the ops of the counter drone unit, I made the same mistakes. I'm looking up there and I'm like, hey, that's a drone. They're like, no, sir, that's a plane. And I'm like, well, that is. And they're like, no, that's actually a planet. And I'm like, are you kidding? But it's the first time I was looking in the sky at night trying to identify a drone. Now, I do think the drone activity has increased because of all this, but they're legal. Why should they intercept a drone that's flying under 400 feet in a G-rated area where you can fly a drone that has its lights on? It's not doing anything wrong. So I think the hysteria that's come from this gets people looking out. They start looking up there. There is more drones, but some of the things that the Congress and some of the politicians saying is somewhat dangerous. Now, then again, though, I don't think the U.S. government was prepared to really answer this the way that they should in saying, well, we know it's not a threat. Well, how do you know that? There has to be some explanation behind it.
Yeah. Yeah, especially, and following up on Logan's reporting there, Congressman McCall, when he's saying in his assessment that some of those drones could be coming from the People's Republic of China. I mean, even if they weren't initially, the fact that this was happening, mid-November, nothing really happened since then. Could people with bad intent actually take advantage of the lack of urgency from the government and launch a drone?
They absolutely could. We've caught Chinese nationals flying drones over military installations. So we do have apparatus to do that, to identify it. But then again, I'm not sure China really needs to fly drones. Their DJI drones operate, I think, 75 to 78% of the market. It may be less now. U.S. government's not allowed to use them anymore because we believe that all the video people are flying with DJI drones goes right back to China anyhow. I think they mapped out their country by giving drones at a very cheap price. They're great drones, but there's a cost to it. It's kind of like TikTok. There's things in there that I think they already get. So I'm not sure they really need to fly that many drones. But I do think if we've had cases where we've caught foreign nationals flying drones, so it's not like we're not looking for them or catching them. I just don't think in this case that's the deal. And I don't think it's the military. If the military was doing something and it was causing this, I think they would have shut it down immediately.
So it's common to have some sort of aerial some sort of a drone flying the size of, let's say, an automobile that's been reported even by authorities in these areas, and for everyday residents to look up and see a giant, essentially the size of a car drone flying around.
I don't think you have drones that size flying around. It is so hard to judge size at night with just lights. You can look at a plane, it's 9,000 feet, and it seems like a totally different size.
Well, that's from state leaders. I hear what you're saying, but that's from state leaders, from mayors that we've spoken to, have had private meetings, and they've been briefed on this. This is what they were informed. So you're saying they were lied to?
I don't think anyone from the government's briefed that there's car-sized drones out there, though. I think they briefed that
state police.
Okay,
state authorities, state officials.
Again, I've worked with local law enforcement a lot, and the times that we bring them out there to start looking for drones, there's the same thing that I did when I started looking up, not identifying them correctly. I think I've been given video where people swear that this is a large drone, and I look at it and it has all the markings of a manned aircraft. Again, I'm not there. I can't go out and say, why did you say it was 6 to 7 feet? Was it at the trees and you compared it to something? But I am suspect that there's car-sized drones flying over New Jersey.
How easy?
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.